There is a quiet power in the spaces we inhabit. The home is not just a shelter, it is the arena of the mind, the sanctuary of the soul. It is where we retreat, not from life itself, but from the chaos that seeks to dictate our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And yet, so many people fill their homes with things that quietly steal their strength. Things that teach the mind to be restless, the heart to be weak, and the spirit to be enslaved. The first thing a wise man would never allow in his home is useless clutter, not the occasional necessity, but the excess that accumulates without purpose. Every object that is not needed, every trinket that exists only to please the eye, is a subtle chain. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." If life is fleeting, why surround yourself with things that weigh down your mind instead of lifting it? Clutter is not just physical, it is symbolic. It teaches the mind to cling to the trivial, to value appearance over essence. When your space is overrun with unnecessary things, your mind is similarly overrun with unnecessary thoughts, petty grievances, superficial desires, and fleeting distractions. Stoics understood that the mind reflects the environment. Epictetus reminded us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By keeping only what is essential, we cultivate clarity. By removing what is unnecessary, we free our spirit from distraction. The second thing a Stoic would never allow in his home is toxic influence in any form. Not the people who come to visit, but the echoes they leave behind. Gossiping, negativity, and reminders of envy or greed. The home must be a place where the spirit can rest and regenerate, not a battlefield of hidden resentments or unworthy desires. Seneca warned, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." If the energy of a person leaves your soul restless, they have no place in your sanctuary. This is not merely about who walks through the door, but what lingers after they leave. Objects, notes, or even media that continuously feed fear, anxiety, or jealousy are as destructive as any tyrant. They subtly teach the mind to react, to crave, to despair. And the Stoic seeks mastery over reaction, desire, and despair. A home filled with reminders of the chaotic world outside becomes a prison, not a refuge. By removing clutter and toxic influence, we begin to craft a space of quiet strength. A place where every object, every sound, every presence serves a purpose, to sharpen the mind, to cultivate virtue, and to reinforce our control over self. In such a home, we are reminded daily of what truly matters: reason, discipline, and the quiet pursuit of excellence. Remember, the home is a reflection of the inner world. As we clean, we do more than organize. We cultivate serenity. As we remove toxicity, we do more than reject influence. We claim sovereignty over our spirit. And in these two simple actions, eliminating the unnecessary, rejecting the destructive, we build a fortress not of stone, but of character. The Stoics teach that life is fleeting, the external world uncontrollable, but the home, our sanctuary, can be entirely ours. Guard it, fill it with virtue, purpose, and clarity. Remove the trivial, remove the poisonous. In doing so, we do not just create a space. We create a life where the mind is free, the heart is strong, and the spirit is untouchable. Our sanctuary becomes our power, and a man who rules his home rules himself. 3. Why you should never give your energy to people who don't respect you. In life, the greatest battles are often not fought with swords, but with our attention, our focus, and our energy. The Stoics understood that the true measure of a man is not how he reacts to adversity alone, but how he protects the sanctity of his mind from forces that would weaken it. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." How often then do we waste our most precious resource, our energy, on people who do not respect us, who do not value the dignity we carry within? To give your energy to someone who does not respect you is to plant seeds in barren soil. It is to speak into a void where nothing meaningful can grow. The mind, like fertile ground, can only produce virtue when it is nourished. not trampled. Epictetus reminds us, keep yourself from being carried away by the opinions of others, for they are often blind. Respect is not merely a social nicety, it is a recognition of one's own worth and the worth of others. To surrender your mental and emotional energy to those who trample on your value is to surrender a piece of your soul. Consider the subtleties of this energy drain. It may not always be overt disrespect. Sometimes it comes as manipulation, subtle judgment, or the quiet undermining of your confidence. To those who are unaware, such interactions may seem inconsequential, but the Stoics teach us that the accumulation of these small corrosions shapes the spirit. Marcus Aurelius observed, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears." If we do not reject the influence of those who disrespect us, we allow their negativity to infiltrate our mind, slowly eroding our fortitude, our focus, and our peace. This principle extends beyond confrontation to all forms of emotional investment. A man of virtue measures carefully where he directs his concern, his loyalty, and his time. To give your attention freely to those unworthy is to hand them power over your inner life. Our energy, once dissipated on those who do not honor it, cannot be reclaimed. Stoicism is not merely about enduring life, it is about mastering it. And mastery begins with the defense of our mental and emotional borders. The wisdom here is not cruelty or withdrawal for the sake of ego. It is precision. It is the recognition that your spirit is a fortress, and only those who honor its walls may enter freely. Seneca said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." The company you keep and the energy you invest are reflections of the life you allow yourself to live. When we surround ourselves with respect and virtue, our own character flourishes. When we squander our energy on those who diminish us, we surrender both power and peace. To act on this wisdom requires vigilance. It demands the courage to say no to persistent demands for attention, the discipline to remove oneself from draining environments, and the foresight to value one's own inner life above the fleeting desires of others. We must cultivate the ability to observe without attachment, to care without surrender, and to engage without compromising our integrity. By doing so, we not only preserve our energy, but we forge the clarity and strength to act decisively in life's meaningful pursuits. Ultimately, the Stoics understood that life is a series of choices, some loud, some quiet, but all shaping the landscape of the soul. To give your energy to those who do not respect you is to make a choice against yourself. To protect it, to guard it, and to reserve it for virtue, purpose, and those who value it is to make a choice for your life, for your freedom, and for your inner power. Let us then be men who recognize the sacred nature of our own energy. Let us withdraw it from those unworthy, invest it in those who honor, and cultivate a life where our spirit remains unshaken. In doing so, we not only safeguard our peace, we claim mastery over ourselves. And in the quiet vigilance of protecting what is ours, we become the architects of a life that is not dictated by the chaos of others, but by the deliberate power of our own disciplined and virtuous mind. Our energy is not trivial. It is the currency of the soul. Guard it, preserve it, and give it only where respect, virtue, and wisdom reside. In that discipline lies the quiet, unyielding strength of a life truly lived. 4. Why silence is a weapon of the intelligent and powerful. In the modern world, we are surrounded by noise, constant chatter, endless opinions, and the incessant demand for our attention. Yet, the truly intelligent, the truly powerful, understand a principle that has guided the greatest minds of history. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. To speak less, to act with measured restraint, is to become that cliff, a force untouched by the chaos swirling around." We often confuse talkativeness with intelligence, as though the loudest voice demonstrates the deepest thought. But history and philosophy reveal a different truth. The Stoics, Epictetus among them, instructed, We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. The mind that observes, that listens, that absorbs quietly, gathers far more insight than the one that blurts or rushes to be heard. Silence is not passivity. It is a deliberate cultivation of awareness, a way to see clearly what others cannot, to comprehend the hidden forces that shape human behavior. Consider the subtle power of remaining silent in moments of tension. In the heat of confrontation, when emotions flare and judgments are clouded, those who speak too quickly often expose themselves. Their energy is scattered, their intentions visible, and their vulnerabilities laid bare. The intelligent remain calm, their silence acting as a shield and a mirror. It reflects the weakness of the impulsive, while preserving the strength of the composed. Seneca observed, "The wise man is content with his own mind, for it is his sanctuary." Silence protects this sanctuary, safeguarding our focus, our dignity, and our inner peace. There is also an unseen influence that silence exerts. Those who speak less are often listened to more, their words carrying weight because they are rare and considered. In contrast, those who speak constantly dilute the impact of their voice, becoming white noise in the minds of others. To the Stoic, influence is earned through restraint, through the deliberate choice of when and how to engage. This is the subtle craft of power, to command respect not through volume, but through presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Silence, then, is the space in which truth and virtue may be honed, untainted by idle chatter or unnecessary expression. Furthermore, silence allows for mastery over one's own emotions, anger, envy, impatience. These destructive forces thrive in noise and reaction. The moment we speak impulsively, we hand our power over to external circumstances, letting others dictate our responses. To remain silent is to remain sovereign over oneself, to act from deliberation rather than reaction. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Through silence, we maintain mastery over the mind, ensuring that every action, every word, and every thought aligns with purpose and virtue. Finally, silence is the companion of introspection and self-mastery. In the quiet, we observe our own motives, question our assumptions, and refine our character. It is in these moments, undisturbed by the clamor of the world, that the wise cultivate fortitude, clarity, and foresight. They are prepared for life's challenges, not because they have shouted louder than others, but because they have listened, understood, and internalized the lessons that noise conceals. Let us then embrace the power of silence. Let us recognize it not as absence, but as presence, presence of mind, presence of character, and presence of strength. In a world that prizes noise, those who choose quiet become unshakable, commanding, and respected. Their power is invisible, yet undeniable. The intelligent understand that words once spoken cannot be reclaimed. Therefore, they choose them as carefully as a general chooses his battles. In the end, silence is a fortress, a weapon, and a guide. It protects the soul, elevates influence, and hones the mind. By mastering it, we align ourselves with the wisdom of the Stoics, the clarity of the ancients, and the unyielding strength of those who have shaped history through observation, restraint, and deliberate action. To speak less, we gain more, not just in the respect of others, but in mastery over ourselves. In silence we are free, in silence we are powerful.